One way that we can go and look at students when in terms of how they can go and understand this vaccine or vaccination graph is that you can go model it to them. Right, make sure that when you go and modeling it to them, you go and break down each step into lots of smaller steps. Make sure that you're thinking about what questions to go and answer them. So this next short video will just go and demonstrate how this can be done. One way that we can go and talk about antibodies and vaccinations that comes up in the exam quite often is going and looking at a antibody like time graph after vaccination. Right, so it's worth going and drawing this out on your table to start off with. So we start off by saying right at the start we're going to get our vaccine. Right, that vaccine is going to go and get broken down by types of B cells eventually, and those B cells will go and be activated with the help of a T helper cell, and they will start going and producing a few antibodies as they go and turn into plasma B cells. So you can see that we're kind of like mapping out what we're doing on this graph that we've drawn on the table as we're going along. Right, so you can show that they make a few antibodies. Right, the key point at this stage is to turn around and say that they will go and make lots and lots of memory B cells against that particular antigen that we started off with. Right. The next point is to talk about when you've got your secondary infection. Those memory B cells will turn into lots of plasma cells straight away. And because you end up with lots of these plasma cells straight away, you end up with a lot higher concentration of antibodies being produced that stay there for a lot longer. So they are some of the key points that you can go and talk about when modelling how antibodies are produced in terms of after having a vaccine with that vaccine antibody time graph. After you've gone and physically modelled it to the students, you can give them a small version for them to go and model it back to each other. Let students go and annotate their own diagram in pairs, going and using the information that you've used. Give them a few key things that they need to think about. Then they can go and model the concept back to each other.